Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Welcome, 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 welcome. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming. Hello, Spooky 94. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I hope welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Today you're 18. Any advice? Follow your parents. Follow your parents' guidance. Follow your parents' guidance and stay away from influences that is going to lead you away from the things your parents taught you. Know right from wrong and stay away from those things that will get you in trouble with the law, in trouble with people. Okay, Fred, here's what I'm going to tell you all. When you come on people's platform, just be respectful or don't come. Okay? Just be respectful or don't come. Just be respectful or don't come. Okay, guys? If you're going to come on, with this type of issue, don't come. Hi, Cameron. How are you? How are you doing? Welcome, everyone. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Beth Valentine, how are you? How are you? Slave on top, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. This is Home Care Queen TV. I am the host of this show. And tonight, we're going to continue our book club. We're discussing Worthy. We're discussing Worthy. Thank you so much. We're discussing Worthy by Jamie Kern Lima. And for those who don't have it, I'm going to be reading, and then you guys can share how it hits home or what you understand about it. You can ask questions. This is our second week. We had the introductory week, this is our second week, and last week we had a robust, very, very nice conversation. So I hope to do the same tonight. So I'm just waiting to see who else popped in. I'm just waiting to see how it pop up. Tap the screen for me, guys. If you're on your PC, click the three buttons on your right. Tap the screen for me. Tap, 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 tap. Tap the screen for me. I'm trying to get to 10 likes right now. I'm at 5, so tap me up to 10. Tap, 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 tap. And people ask, why do we ask to tap? This is a requirement for us to stay on YouTube. YouTube wants us to do this. We're not doing it to aggravate you guys. This is something that they want us to do every time we come on. So go ahead and just tap on your phone until you see that confetti. Just tap. If you're on your PC, just click on the three buttons or the four, whatever is on your PC. Click on that. Click on the thumb. Whatever the signal is, click on it for us. This keeps us on the algorithm and it keeps YouTube interested in our channel. Okay, so that's why we ask you to tap for us. Tap, 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 tap for us. We appreciate you. For those of you who are not in the chat, but you're in the garden, as I called it, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. And remember, your presence here means a lot to me, even though I cannot see you. Those that are in the chat, thank you. All my new subscribers, all my supportive subscribers, all the subscribers that has been here with me from day one. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We got to get this thing done. We got to get this thing done. So I thank you for your support. So tap up the screen for me. I tell you this thing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm trying to get to 10. We're at 6. Let's share it out and tap the screen for me. Share it out and tap the screen for me. I'll be right back. Don't leave. Beth, don't leave, because I'd really like you to be here for the book discussion. Thanks, Alex. How are you? How are you, Alex? How are you? Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Tap up the screen for me. Tap up the screen, Alex. Stack up the stream for me, please. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, everyone. Tap up the screen, everyone. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Tonight is our book club. Tonight is our book club. We're reading Worthy by Jamie Kern. Getting ready to review the second phase of chapter 1. We're getting ready to review that. Hope your weekend are going good so far. Hope your weekend is going good. Hope you're having a good weekend. And let me say, while we're waiting, let me say to all those people who have been affected by the hurricane. Just let us continue to pray for them, that God will provide all the resources they need to get back on their feet. And also, this is Cancer Awareness Month. Every day is Cancer Awareness. However, the focus is October. Let's lift up all those who are suffering. I wouldn't say suffer, who are walking through the cancer journey right now. Let's pray for them, and let's pray that we will have a medication soon to assist folks to live a little longer with this disease. Thanks for coming in. It is not my birthday. Is there somebody's birthday in the chat? You're French, so you would like me to speak slowly. Okay, Alex, and I'm not a girl. As you can see, I'm a grown woman. As you can see, I'm a grown woman, and I'm going to say again to all you guys that are coming in, I'm going to ask you to be respectful. If you come here, you have to be respectful. If you can't, then there's the door. Dream Chaser, how are you? Again, I'm not a girl. I'm a grown woman, as you could see. Okay? Tap the screen up for me. Tap, 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 tap for me. I'm at 7. I'm trying to get to 10. Before half an hour, I'm trying to get to 10. Let's tap up the screen. Let's share out. You know, because you guys go on platforms and you really disrupt the flow. You really disrupt the flow of things, and it's not good. If you don't have anything else to do, find something constructive to do with your time. Find constructive to do with your time. You come on and you do this all. Tall man, my Redeemer Cameron. Tall man, welcome, welcome. So happy to see you here. What happened, tall man? You're surprised to see me? Tonight is book club night. Tonight is our book club night. I think you were on the first time, tall man, the first time I previewed the book. I previewed the book. I thought you were on. You weren't on last week. I asked for you. You weren't on the week before. But this is our second official week doing the book Worthy. I'm reading the book Worthy by Jamie Kern Lima. This book Worthy. I'm glad you read the Bible, my Redeemer. I'm so happy you did. My Redeemer lives. Mine lives also. I love reading the Bible also, but having an expanded mind is important. That's what God wants from us, for us to expand ourselves, our knowledge. Or he said he wish above all things that we prosper and be in good health. It doesn't necessarily mean only money. Okay? So we're, this book, I don't want to start yet. Tom, and hang in there with me, okay? I'm going to start soon. But let me just give a review of the book. I came across this book, and I don't like self-help books. I really don't like self-help books. But I came across this book, and after reading the introduction of the book, I said, yes, this is one book I would love to read. And I read it. And I tell you, it is so refreshing, eye-opening. and just a positive encouragement, I decided that, you know what? I'm going to form a book club. I'm going to form a book club and share some of this insight with the people who are on my channel. So last week we talked about how can we use the pain becoming what you believe you are. So for those of us who believe in a higher force, God says we're worthy. He says we're special. He said that we can do all things with his strength. But life comes and say, boom. So life creates all type of emotions, RNCEO, welcome, 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 welcome. Getting ready to start the book club. Getting ready to start the book club. We're getting ready to start the book club. So, to read rather. So the first few pages spoke about how the things that we've been told as children, in our culture, the cultural stuff that comes over into our adult life that makes it hard for us to move forward. Oh, I thought you were here last week, RNC. I'm reading Worthy. And I put it in my community page for folks who want to get it. It's on Amazon. It's a bit pricey, but I think there are those of us who can afford it. It's on Amazon. I've heard that someone said they found it in the library, which I know that most New York Times bestsellers always have copies of their books in the library. So one individual was able to put it on research. I hope she'll come in tonight and that she was able to get it this week. But it's called Worthy. I got this one from Amazon. I came across it, and after reading the introduction, it just sat in a space with me that I decided that, you know what, I'm going to do a book club. Yes, yes. I decided I'm going to do a book club and share some of the thoughts of this author and also get feedback from everybody. Last week, it was so good. The feedback was so good last week. So I'm going to start and hope that others will pop in. I checked the streets and the streets are busy. YouTube is busy, but I did not want to cancel because I'm a commitment woman. Once I commit to something, I'm going to do it. And I know that there are people that went out and purchased the book because they've notified me that they purchased the book, and I did not want to disappoint. Guys, tap up your screen for me. Tap up your screen until you see that confetti. Those of you who are on a PC, go ahead and click on the thumb or click on the three dots over your computer. So this chapter 1, we went through the introduction chapter. Now this chapter 1, the topic of this one is the one thing that transforms everything. And let me preface this by saying that nothing we say here or I read here is intended to take the place of your therapist, your pastor, whoever your encourager is. This is just for educational purposes and just getting, confirmation, if you will, on the areas of our life that we're working on that seem to be working. Okay? So the one thing that transforms everything. Now, for those religious people, we know the one thing that can transform everything is Jesus' blood and the Holy Spirit. Jay Brown, so happy to see you. So happy to see you, Jay Brown. So happy to see you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Jebron, I'm going to make you a moderator for all those people that are coming in with their disruptive spirit. Okay, take care of them for me, because while I'm reviewing, sometimes I miss it and I don't want them to come in here with their disrespect. So take care of them for me. Okay, Jebron, if you don't mind. So thanks for coming. So the one thing that transforms everything, and let me preface it by saying, as I was saying earlier, for those of us that believe in a higher force, we know that the transformation can only take place through Jesus Christ and his Holy Spirit. I know you will. I know you will. We know that transformation can only take place through Jesus Christ and his Holy Spirit. But for this book, we're going to look into other ways. And she gives a lot of scriptures in her book to support her conversations. Okay, so it says, she said, I'm not giving up. The woman I'll be in a few years from now is counting on me, and the world shift. This is Norma Oma. That's her quote. Have you ever been longing for that thing to happen? The thing you're sure you would find, the thing you're sure would finally make you happy, fulfill, whatever it was. Okay, let me start this over. I have to change my glasses. Sorry, guys, I got to run and get another glass. Okay, now I have the magnifier on so I could see better now. Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for coming. Tap the screen. Trying to get to 15 before 30 minutes. Now we're at 11. So, okay, let's start over. Have you ever been longing for that thing to happen? The thing you're sure would finally make you happy and fulfill. Whatever it was, whether it was landing a certain job, reaching some level of achievement, getting married, having kids, hitting that goal weight. Have you ever thought, when I finally get this promotion, when I finally make a certain salary, when I finally get that dream house, when I finally get the external recognition I am craving so deeply for, I will finally celebrate, and I'm finally celebrated by others. When I'm finally hit that milestone, that I'll be enough. So what she's asking us, are we one of those persons that set these finally goals? Are we one of those persons that set these finally goals? Have you ever heard someone say, I am not going to go on a vacation until I find a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend? That's what she's saying. Are you one of those finally person? Are you putting your life in the context of when I finally? Have you ever said that? Have you ever used that as a way of planning your life? When I finally get the job, then I will. Then I'll be enough. That peace. Isn't that what we are told? And I think I hinted on it last week. If we're not married and have children and do this within a certain point of our life, then we are not accomplished. For women, we are not women. I don't think so much stress is put on a man. I don't think so much stress. I've heard men jokingly say to each other, "Man, when are you gonna get married to that girl? You've been with her for so long." But in a woman's perspective, we're asked that by the time we hit 20. Sometimes I think people don't even inquire if we're going to college. They inquire whether we're going to get married or not. Have you ever had an experience when you actually got that thing you have been longing for? It probably felt amazing, right? Did you experience joy and elation? Did that thing finally happen, solve all? Here is the other piece. Did it finally solve all the feelings and emptiness for lasting fulfillment forever? So after you have attained it, did it take care of all the childhood trauma, all the relationship trauma? Did it take care of all of that? Or did you experience a temporary high followed by a slow descendance back to the unfulfilled person? What does that mean, Jay Brown? What does that mean? Have you ever had that experience? RNC, have you ever had that experience that I want to become this and I want to get that, because when I get this and when I get that, I'll be totally fulfilled? Have you ever had that thought? And then you work towards it and you get it. Does the elation last? The emptiness that you feel or didn't feel, did the achievement take care of everything that is missing? Could you share if you have experienced that? What did it feel like? Did it stay with you for a while? Or did it pass and you revert back to the pain from childhood, the pain from whatever trauma? It lasted, RNC said, for a short while. And why do you think that happened, RN? Why do you think that happened? Why do you think that setting the goal to get the perfect job, to get recognition, to get this, does everything happen all at once? Or what? Flawless? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you. So happy to have you. Flawless, we're reading Worthy. Tonight is my book club night, reading Worthy. And we're talking about that one thing that transforms everything. Is there one thing that can change every pain in your life? Is there one thing? So the author is saying, and RNC said that when she achieved a goal, that feeling of elation doesn't last long. That feeling of elation doesn't last long. So Flawless, are you the type of person that say, when I finally get a job, when I finally have the house, then all my problems will be solved? All the emptiness that I feel will be lifted. No one thing can solve it. And why things doesn't solve emptiness? Why does things, the house, the land, the children, why does that not solve emptiness? Because according to society, right, When you have an abundance of everything, you're supposed to be happy. But that seemed not to be true. Because if you just look on the news. Some of the people with the most money, the biggest houses, I saw somebody has a 30,000 square foot home with 15 bathrooms and 10 bedrooms. Now you tell me, how could you enjoy that? Do you know what room one look like? If you have children, you might know what 4 rooms out of those 20 rooms look like. The answer is the power in us, RN says. And how. Okay, Flawless. So glad you stopped by. Remember to tap on your way out, and when you get home, hurry back on. All right, if you have the time. Love to hear your input. Thank you for visiting. So RN says that the answer is the power within us. Could you elaborate a little more on that power within us? You see, I can understand what you're saying, RN, the power within us, but with the pain, because remember, the authors start out with the cultural stuff that we're told. Children must be seen and not be heard. Women must be submissive. And there's nothing wrong in being submissive in a relationship. If the relationship is one that is healthy and respectable, there's no sexier thing for me than submitting to the person that respects me and loves me and appreciates me. There's something about just turning everything over to that person. But they have to be, not because you're the man. You have to be able to dance the dance so I can submit. You can't just come in and because you're the man, then no. Hi, Queen. Thanks for coming, watch, Queen. Thanks for coming. So, the one thing that transforms everything, Aaron says the power within us. So, my question now is, how do you use the power within if you're suffering with pain, rejection, and all the other stuff that comes with life? How do you then use that power to fill you up? Okay. But even from a sense of RN, even from a sense of even your day-to-day life, in getting through things, what makes the power work? I will submit that the power can only work if we have dealt with the pain. So it's true, if somebody said last week that there's strong will, and I think it was Queen that says she tries to live her life knowing what she wants, go for it, and even when life come at her, she continues to lean on that. So all the things that she talk about, we live in, I will do this when that. I will wear makeup when somebody tells me I'm cute. I will go and get my education when somebody tells me I can do it. Or are we going to do it because innately this is what we want for ourselves? This is what will fulfill our dreams to take care of our family and to be a better person in society. Now, when we get all these things, it's a nice feeling. And embracing the feeling and taking the feeling in. As Aaron says, and the writer says it also, that sometimes the elation doesn't last for a long period of time because we're dealing with so much, or something comes in the middle and intercept the joy. I call them the joy breakers. Have you ever been trying to tell somebody about something that happened to you and they just come up with the saddest story ever? Okay, so let's go on. She says most of her life, she believed that she could accomplish that thing, that I would feel enough. I thought that if I become successful enough, based on the world's definition, isn't that what Aaron is saying? Based on the world's definition of what success looks like. Can we pause there for a minute? Isn't that something that stresses us out if we are not aware of who we are? Isn't that something that stresses us out? You can only be successful if you are a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, a teacher. Isn't that something that it seems that hard work, a person who's a plumber, a carpenter, somebody that fixed the road. Can you imagine if we didn't have that sector of the workforce? We would live every day with our house leaking. And the sun would come right in because my profession does not lend me to be a roofer. But we tend to put people on pedestals who has certain titles. And we tend to look at that as success. And it is successful. Don't get me wrong. I am an educator. I believe in education. But what the writer is trying to say is that what is success for me might not be what line up with our society. Sorry about that, guys. You see? So then the question is, if we accept what we do and what we're accomplished as success, would that make it, if you will, a little better, or would that help? Okay, so my friend is a farmer, a very, very good farmer. And I am a social worker. And my friend is making millions of dollars. I'm making enough money what my profession pays. But his money is not equate to success on the educational level. But if he accepts that, hey, my farm is keeping me going, my farm takes care of everything, my farm allows me to give a helping hand in my community, isn't that success? Isn't that success? We have children, and whatever they carve out in life for themselves, they're able to purchase a home, they're able to maintain their family. Isn't that success? Isn't success the ability to rise above the economic strain and pay our bills and be able to help someone else? Isn't that success? And if that is a part of success, just like the nurse and the therapist and the teachers, if that is a part of success and we own it, why are we stressing ourselves about our neighbor having a Benz and we're driving a donkey, we're riding a donkey? As I always say, isn't that transportation? Because we're socialized to believe that if you're not doing that, and if you're not driving that, look at how we socialize in churches. That always gets me. Even at work. But in churches, I have watched it for years, and I think I was a part of it too. Without willingly being a participant, I became a part of it. You go with the professionals. You go to lunch with the professionals. You go to lunch with the person who lives in the same socioeconomic area as you are. And then we miss out on having a friend, a genuine, caring friend who is not there where we think there is. And most of the followers, I call them dead bodies, most of the company that you're around, they're just there for the show. They're not invested. They're not invested in a relationship. They're there for the show. This one have a dinner and did not invite you, then everybody get upset. Oh, she did not invite you? So that's what society is. That's what she's trying to say. She says, I thought that if I become successful enough, based on the world's definition of what success look like, then I would eventually have these feelings of worthiness and love. So back to the two columns that I have, a person that is hardworking, a laborer, versus another a professional person. If I am not on that streak or in that column, then I'm not successful. Then I won't be worthy of love because I'm a farmer. I cannot date a nurse because she won't see me or he won't see me as an equal partner, because everyone around me is expecting me to date someone in a professional pool. So if I date outside of that or marry outside of that, have you all experienced that? Have you all seen that or hear that around you? Am I the only one? And I use a church group because you tend to see a little more in churches, especially if you are from a large church. Over the last year, I've gone to a smaller church, but I've always gone to churches with 1,000 or more people, and you see a broad socioeconomic, a broad educational group. And I started to watch my own behavior in the group and to see where I place myself. And if a nurse marries a plumber, it's like, what? She couldn't do better? Am I lying? Those are the type of stresses we get from society that we miss out on. We know deep within ourselves that this person is a good person. This person will be a great, great leader in the home, leading me to Christ, leading my family to Christ, keeping a spiritual home, keeping for those people who are not in the spiritual arena, but keeping the house flowing, if you will, keeping the algorithm of the house. We know that, and we're asking for love. and accepting ourselves and what we are worth in God's sight. But what do? We marry to be socially acceptable, a certain person, and then years down the line we say we grew apart. The belief drove me to spending most of my life hiding in plain sight, feeling unworthy. What are the things that can make us feel unworthy? Because we're talking about authentic worthiness that comes from God. God made us in his image. God says that we're perfectly made. He says that we're everything. But what are the things that drives us to believe that we're not after a while? Jay Brown, Watch Queen, RN, can you tell me what are some of the it might not necessarily be something that happened in your life, but what is an example of things that can lead us to believe that we're not worthy? Okay, so Jay Brown is talking about the previous question. He says you have to love the person for who they are and not what they can. Love them for who they are. But how much of us do that? How much of us do that? How much of us truly love a person for who they are? Let's call a thing a thing. We were talking about it a couple of days. I think it was Friday. During during my cooking session, we're talking about doing what you need to do for yourself and not worrying always about what people think. As long as you're not doing something to offend someone or disrespect them. But how much of us truly, I always like to come back to YouTube because that's where we are. And my goal is to empower, advocate, and to gain strength from respectful criticism. But what is causing the biggest, I'm coming, RNC, I see you. What is causing the biggest issue on YouTube? Isn't it not accepting each other? Isn't it that who she thinks she is, she comes on acting like she's this and acting, because the person does not act the way you want them to act or believe the way you want to believe or go down the slide that you are on, then isn't that what it is? Okay. Isn't that what it is, Jay Brown? RNC says most of the times the things that we do them for status or acceptance from somebody else. Watch Queen says a lot of people don't feel like they're worthy because they did not accomplish your goal. I love that. I love that. Setting the goal for yourselves, for ourselves, and attaining those goals should make us be at peace, shouldn't it? But even in our families, it can happen where your profession is not recognized, or if it's recognized, it's just tolerated. It's not looked upon as, wow, This is what she wanted to do. She accomplished it. She's happy with what she's doing. She's a dressmaker. She's a good seamstress. She's happy with it. But because you're not on the society success list, then you're not appreciated. You're not accepted. She's saying the belief drove me to spending most of my life hiding in plain sight. What does that mean? What does that mean? Can you identify one moment in your life, one period in your life where that happened? Where you take on this whole, oh, you're not accomplished because you're not this. Have everybody ever experienced that? Where you spend your whole life, we talked about it when we first started the book. You spend your whole life trying to be the bigger person. Your whole life being silent as to so be accepted. And when you speak up, you're buffeted, you're dismissed. Look at what is going on in society right now. Look at, and I read this book and it just, you tend to mirror things. How? And I can speak of this because it's in the news. It's an allegation that is in the news. It's widespread. How does a mother pick up a 9-year-old and leave with a single man? How? I can't fathom that. Because success is he can sing, but he has to be number one. So I'm not going to let him go through the process. I'm going to go where everybody's going. Allegedly now, without allegedly, it seems, doing your research as a parent, talking to people about this person, and you just turn over your kids. How? I don't know if it's me alone, but have you guys noticed that some of the most educated, upstanding people, the stuff they're doing now, you wonder what happened? What happened? When a person can come on national television and dehumanize a whole culture to eating rats, dogs, and whatever, and people support that, isn't that a part of being accepted? Isn't that a part of feeling like you belong to something bigger than yourself? What makes us do the things we do? To be attached. It's like we lose our mind. We lose who we are just to be attached. And sometimes it's not for the good. Because as Aaron says, it seems that we are driven by status instead of driven by innately who God made us to be. Stand up for what is wrong. Know that I'm enough even if you don't agree with me. As long as I'm not offending you, I'm not disrespecting you, my point is important. My conversation is important. the sense that you're not enough, and therefore your undeserving of love is as close to universal as its feeling of can the sense that you're not enough and therefore you're undeserving of love is as close to universal as a feeling and fear can be. So what is she saying? That if we have enough people beating down on us, that we're not worthy, we're not enough, it destroys us. It destroys us. Am I lying? Through meeting so many great heroes in real life, many whom have accomplished more than I could imagine, I learned they still have this exact same fear. So we said it earlier on. When I get this, I will be good enough. When I get that, I will be good enough. Where does that come from? What creates that feeling of not good enough? Watch Queen, RN, all you guys on here, I don't want to call everybody name, but what creates that type of feeling that carries through our life? And unless we recognize it and are able to break the cycle, but we can't break the cycle until we know where it's coming from, we own it. So what creates that? Childhood trauma, as we said, we're always going to go back to that. Cultural norms, people with low self-esteem. But what creates low self-esteem? It just don't happen. I don't wake up with low self-esteem. If I'm being hammered at every day that I can't, you can't, you're not deserving of that, you should not speak that way, you should not do that. So after being told that from childhood, sometimes through relationship, I was speaking to someone and they told me that they're going through some relationship issues and they decided that this is it, I deserve more. And they told the person that I'm finished, I'm done with this. And the person said to them, you'll never find somebody like me. So I said to her, what did you reply? She says, I just look at him. I said, next time say, I hope not. I'll find somebody who is deserving of me and could see my worth. So I hope I don't find somebody like you, because if you saw my worth and you saw that you are undeserving of love and respect, then I wouldn't be leaving. And a lot of us, male and female, I spent years with them, so I'm not leaving and start over. Fear and doubt always need some validation. Powerful. Powerful. If a person says it long enough, you will believe it. You will believe it. And that's where low self-esteem come from. You know deep down in your heart that you know how to cook a good pot of rice. And you pick up the rice to cook. And somebody says, Oh, you're going to make that rice too soft. Right away, we believe it. Right away, we believe it. Because it's rice today, but yesterday it was something else. And they worked daily to overcome them. It was then that I had a huge epiphany. Waiting on XYZ to happen and then expecting to feel happy, fulfilled, and worthy is not even going to happen. Comparison brings on self-doubt and feeling of not being worthy. Aaron, powerful. Powerful. Comparing ourselves to friends, family, neighbors. If you always live on that street, if you don't get to the point where you realize that the math is not mathing, it's too much headache for me to try always to live up to your expectations. It's too much. And I think that's where I got. Because I used to be that person. I used to be that person. Being all things to everybody. You want me to sit in the room and be quiet? I sit in the room and be quiet. You come in and decided that that dress that I wear, oh, why did you wear that dress? And you try to be everything for everybody until you lose yourself. And then you wake up. Then you're just tired of being tired. So what does it make? What makes us truly feel fulfilled? What makes us truly feel fulfilled? Drop your answer in the comment. If we are going to come out of the avenue of constantly being oppressed with these negative feelings, constantly being, oh, I can't believe, oh, da, 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 da. Oh, don't talk when X is around. Don't say anything when you're in the presence of Y. Don't speak up at work. Don't speak up in the Bible class. Don't speak any, just be numb so I can speak. When we have gotten the epiphany, as she puts it, I call it the light bulb moment, like Oprah said. When that light bulb moment come, when you decide, I am enough. I am not perfect, but I am enough. When you've come to that realization, what truly makes you feel fulfilled? Drop your comment. Tap the screamer for me, guys. Those of you who are in the courtyard that are not in the chat, I know that you're there. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you so much. Tap, 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 tap. I did not get the 15 and for the half an hour, but I need you. I need one. I'm at 14 now, and I'm at the hour point. I need to get to 15. Tap, tap, tap for me, guys. Really appreciate it. So when we have realized that, listen, I am just tired of living for everybody. I am tired of trying to please everybody. I'm tired of being the bigger person in everything. I'm just tired. How do we go about moving forward? how do we now go about rebuilding our worthiness. That Hi, Paulette Brown. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming. This is Home Care Queen. I am the channel owner, and it's a privilege to have you here. If you have not connected to the channel, you can go ahead and peruse the channel and see if something on there intrigue you or pique your interest, and join the channel, please. Thanks for coming. Meet Jay Brown and Queen and RN and all the others that are here. This is a wonderful space to be in. We are reviewing this book, Worthy, by Jamie Lima. And worthy, we're talking about our worthiness according to God's standard and what God make us to be. So when we have gone through life and life has beaten us up, and we have come to the realization that this is not working for me, I need to live in my authentic self. I need to love yourself and become content, what Queen says. Let's take a moment and rest in that for a while. Loving ourselves and become content. Loving yourself and be content. Let's rest in that. And that's what it boils down to. And it's not going to be easy. As I said, those of us who believe in a higher force, which is Christ and the Holy Spirit, it takes a lot of praying. It takes a lot of surrendering to God to do that thing in us. Because after you have been beaten down so long, you accept it. Whether you want to believe it or not, yes, we accept that, yes, this is how we are. Yes, I'm supposed to behave like this because it's expected of me. You're welcome, Paulette. You're welcome. So, Paulette, feel free to join the conversation. We're talking about worthiness. We're talking about breaking the cycle of cultural stuff that are told to us, be seen and not be heard. We're breaking the cycle of how do you get through being told over and over that you can't, not feeling belong, not feeling that you're accomplished because you're not this and you're not that. I am, one of the things I hate hearing people say, and CNAs and CNAs and caregivers. I hear it mostly from caregivers. CNA feels a little more elevated. But I hear it mostly from, I am just a caregiver. Are you kidding me? You're making the difference in someone's life. You're there to support them and lift their spirit and keep them out of the hospital, keep them out of a nursing home. What do you mean you are only a caregiver? One of the things that I used and I continue I just started this process a year ago. I thought I started it, but I become conscious. I'm telling you, Jay Brown, powerful. I decided to live my life authentically, regardless, as long as I am not disrespecting you or hurting you. I am going to be who God makes me to be. Intentional living. And that's what Watch Queen is talking about. loving ourselves, and be content with who we are. My $5 pays my bills. My 1994 Ford is still driving. I can get to work. I can get to social arenas. I can get to church. The car carries me where it needs to go, and my leg is not pushing along the highway. Living within my means. That's how we become authentic. That's how we live out the worthiness that God makes us to be. Being authentic. I remember I made a purchase, and someone said to me, I never thought you would buy that. And I go, what? I never thought you would buy that. I see you with this. And I said to the person, you know what? The fact that I don't have to have stress in this era of my life, this is the reason why I purchased this. I felt so empowered. One time I would go, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I said to the person, this is going to take away so much stress out of my life. And it is one of the best moves beside having my children I have made. I'm more content. I'm happier. I'm at peace. The things I used to worry about, I don't worry about them anymore. But it took time. It took me looking at how stressed I am, trying to be everything for everybody except myself. It was a boom moment for me. Yes, Paulette. That is the biggest stress factor. I look back now and I say, who could it be but God? Who could it be? We can't change the cycle or break the chain unless we are willing to look at us, willing to look at me, walking away from conversations that you don't want to be a part of anymore. And help me, guys. In doing this type of reworking, yes, come out of my head, Paulette. You just got here, you're in my head already. I love it. Stop analyzing everything, because analyzing is trying to justify why you must stay there. You must stay there because you'll be accepted there. But over here is where your authentic self wants to be. It's a battle, you know. It takes conscious decision making to choose you. Because I always say, slipping is not failure. All it does is give you some pain to wake up and say, hey, I promised myself I'm not going to do this. This is why I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. Because you make them for a temporary fix. But when you're looking for a long-term fix, a lifetime working on being who God wants you to be, because that's what it boils down to, you know. Because we can't do this by ourselves. We didn't make ourselves. He has the blueprint. So if we don't tap into the drawer for the blueprint, then we can't develop what we think we want to develop. And this is the reason why we spend so much years as people pleasers and dead body counters. You're in a group and you don't feel connected. You don't, and you stay there. It is So it's like a burden lifted when you decide. When you decide that I want a little more for me. When I come across this book, I said, this woman is in my head. When you decide that you want a little more for yourself, you're authentic, living intentional, it's a daily thing. It's not a quick fix. It's not, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds by June. You want to continue losing the weight, so it has to become a way of life for you. And it's, I have put little quotes, you know, those little sticky? I put them in my bathroom. I have them on my refrigerator, different quotes. You are enough because God says you are enough. We have to, this is not something that you can just get up and say, oh, I'm going to change this. It takes work. It takes, somebody said it further up, acknowledging that we are not ourselves, we are made of for God's purpose. It takes work. And most of the time, and tell me guys, most of the times when you, DS family, welcome. So glad to see you. So glad to see you. We're in the throes of our book review worthy. We're talking about after we have acknowledged that the way things are, we can no longer stay in that vein, being people pleasers, looking at everybody's success, thinking we should have it. When we get to the knowledge of accepting that and start to do the work, it's so refreshing. It makes you look younger. You know, as I said, I'm on this journey for the past couple of months. I thought I started it before, but every time I see someone that I haven't seen in a long time and they say, did you just come from vacation? You look so refreshed. You know what it says to me? That's how stressed you were, girl. That's how stressed you were that somebody hasn't seen you in a week and they see you now and they think you went on vacation. Because stress shows in our face. It shows in our body language. So there are things around us that encourages us if we keep our antennas up. When people say certain things, when you're trying to work on yourself, and they say, another common one I get, are you dating? One time I would go, so I have to have a man to look good? No, I just shut up. I smile. Oh, you're not sharing. You're keeping secrets. But that's my encouragement that something is taking place. You know, Pastor said we're talking about miracles in church. And Pastor said that we're so socialized to looking at miracles in a certain way. He didn't say this, but I'm saying it. People throwing people on the ground, throwing water on them, throwing oil on them, and then saying, give me an offering. Give me an offering so that you will get your permanent healing. But miracles that are being worked on every day. My ability to see my weakness, my ability to see where this path that I am on is not working, Jesus. Help me. I need to change it. That's a miracle. When you can change your behavior with the help of Almighty God. When you decide not to be a part of negativity, have peace of mind, and accept the things and accept the things you cannot change, you will definitely look better. Yes, Paulette. Yes. Because if you are in pain and I come to you and you come to me and you says, man, I'm having a hard time with my light and gas. I hold my light and gas and I can't pay it. And I tell you my light is shut off. How does that help you? I tell her, well, my light is turned off. How does that help you? So recognizing the bad traits, the nasty traits, the things that turn genuine people, or I'm not talking about people who just come and sit down and look to criticize. I'm talking genuine people who care about you. The things that turns them off about me, when I recognize it and I own it and I go to God and says, I cannot continue like this. The change show in your body. Tap up the screen, guys. Tap up, and keep the chat busy for me, guys. Keep me on the algorithm. Thank you. Send up your emojis, guys. Keep the algorithm going. I'm slipping a little off the algorithm. Keep that algorithm going for me, guys. Send up your emojis. So, what are we saying? Change can be seen. And don't get me wrong, you know. There are those people in our life who will never see our growth. Never. Especially if they're part of our triggers. They'll never see our growth. Because seeing your growth will never allow them to see themselves. Thank you. You know what? Seeing your growth will never allow them to acknowledge it. Because if they acknowledge it, then they can't be your trigger. So here's what she sells. She sells self-worth and self-confidence. What is the difference between self-worth and self-confidence? Are they the same? Is self-worth and self-confidence the same? Jay Brown, Watch Queen Nurse, Jennifer, who else is here? God, this chat is going. DS family. Is self-worth and self-confidence the same? Someone says yes. Self-worth and self-confidence. Drop your answer in the chat. DS family says yes. Paulette says no. Watch Queen, what's your answer? Self-worth and self-confidence. Are they the same? They're not. You're right, Paulette. Self-worth is the foundation of your fulfillment. Without it, you'll never feel fulfilled. Thank you, Jay Brown. Let me read it again. Your self-worth is the foundation of your fulfillment. And without it, you'll never feel truly fulfilled. But before we go any further, I want to clearly I want to clarify the difference between self-worth and self-confidence. They're two different things. Self-worth is different from self-confidence, and here is why. But we are also easily confused with them. And many of us spend our entire life focusing only on the things that build our self-confidence, not realizing that they do nothing to build our self-worth. Let me see what Flawless Rain says. Self-worth refers to the fundamental belief in one's inherent value as a person. Is how we view our overall worthiness, independent, and external accomplishments. That's a mouthful, but that is true. Self-confidence, there are two different things, but we so easily confuse them, and many of us spend our entire life focus only on the things that build our self-confidence and not realizing they do not build our self-worth, which is a huge reason that when we finally do get that thing and the next thing, we still feel unfulfilled. So let's go back. Self-confidence, on the other hand, Flawless says, is the belief in our abilities, skills, capacity to achieve them. It is more action-oriented and also influenced by success and experience. That is the definition of self-worth and self-confidence. One is building. Self-worth is the internal clock, if you will, a deep-rooted belief that you are enough and worthy of love and belonging just as we are. So it's that which God gives to us, that culture and pain and society and trying to be like the Joneses changes. So then we mix self-worth with self-confidence because of those behavior. You see? Self-confidence now, and it's in the chat by Flawless said it. Self-confidence, while also is an internal trait, it is generally linked to our assessment of how we compare and look at our outside world. Yes, self-confidence, not self-confidence, self-worth, Queen. Self-worth is that we are born with. Confidence, self-confidence also is an internal trait. But the difference between the two is that internally we are wired to achieve, but society tells us that we only can achieve in this area, and then socially tells us you can't be accepted unless you have this profession, that profession. But self-worth is a rooted belief that we are enough. Believing it, accepting it, owning it, getting the t-shirt that I am enough. I might not be perfect. I might not have the queen's crown, but I am enough. Enough for who? Enough for me. I'm enough for the table I sit on. Self-confidence is what you accomplish outside, Queen. Self-worth is the inherent belief that you're worthy regardless if I am a scientist or if I'm a housekeeper. You understand what I'm saying? Self-worth is that what we're innately born with. I'm worthy because I'm made up by God and He said so. Self-confidence is setting a goal to be a teacher. I accomplished that goal to be a teacher. Setting a goal to buy a car, I accept that goal. Self-confidence is that which is attained outside of yourself. But what we mix it up with is because society tells us that you have no self-confidence unless you drive a two-wheel car. You have to have an airplane. But self-worth is, it doesn't matter what I have. Things does not make me who I am. My character, my ability to be empathize with in people's pain, my ability to make a difference, my ability to stand for what I believe in, my ability to garner friendship, that builds who I am, supports who I am, and not one-sided. You ever hear the term? She think she think because she's my friend that I'm hers. You see where I'm going, where the author is going with this? Knowing that, I've always said it, because I'm divorced doesn't mean every man in the world is what I experienced for the last 2 years of my marriage. My entire marriage was not bad. It was good. That's why I didn't want to let it go. But the last year, I couldn't live with it. That doesn't mean I hate every man on the earth because one man hurt me. That doesn't mean because I'm betrayed by friends, by family, by this, by that I hate everybody. I will not be willing to trust you, but it doesn't mean I hate you. So it's in the inherent gift that we get from God to love ourselves and accept ourselves and be the best we can be, and not aligning success always to material things. COVID, I said it before, COVID was our biggest lesson of self-worth. It hit us right in the face. We were locked away, those of us who were locked away by ourselves. For 2 years, I had nobody visiting me. Nobody visiting me. We talk on the phone. For 2 years, we couldn't shop. I remember in the height of it, you go to Trader Joe's and you have to wait outside. They're only letting 2 at a time. They're only letting 2 at a time. They're only letting 2 at a time. Until it went up to 4, then 5, then 6. And we stood out in the sun and in the snow until the 2 comes out, then we go in. And you come out and nobody say hello to you. Every store, I don't know in other cities or countries, but every store you step in here, hi, how you doing? Welcome. During COVID, they didn't care whether you come or go. And didn't we survive? Didn't we survive? Didn't we survive? So of course we're worthy because COVID proved it. Who did they say was a special group during COVID? You remember the term? Somebody drop in the chat the term they use during COVID. Who can remember the term they use during COVID? So that woke me up. I could do without you for 2 years. Yes, essential workers. Nobody was doctors, lawyers, cook, chief, and carpenters. Everybody was essential workers. You see the lesson in this? People were finally acknowledged as human beings during that period of time. It's just sad that so many people lost their life. But I think it seems sometimes that we came out of it without the lesson. There was a huge lesson. There was a huge lesson. Everybody had a PhD. Everybody was an essential worker. Heroes live here, is what my hospital said. Heroes lives here. Heroes works here. That woke me up. I no longer felt alone after COVID. I used to always, why can't you come and visit me? I no longer feel alone because in that space, I learned to accept the fact that no one can come because of this. So therefore, I have to turn to Muriel. I have to love on her. I have to find happiness and joy in her space. But guess what happened on the flip side of that? Anybody can tell me, especially for couples, what happened when that season passed? Tap up the screen, guys. Tap the screen up, please. Tap up the screen. I did not get to my goal. Tap up the screen, guys. Watch screen. How much am I? It's showing me 17 here. Guess what was the flip side of this? Jay Brown, you guys are there. You know what was the flip side of this? A lot of marriage ended. A lot of relationship broke up. And I bet you can't tell me why. Thank you so much. I bet you can't tell me why those relationships broke up. It seemed. Why did so much relationship break up after COVID? Families, husband, wives, coupled individuals for the first time. So I work from 7 to 3. You work from 9 to 5. I work 7 to 7. You work 11 to 7. We pass each other in the hallways at home, tap each other on the shoulder if you got that. Went to the bathroom, went to the computer, ate dinner. Mom is putting the kids to bed. You're watching the game. Never connected. Never connected. And because they had to stay together, they find out. I heard someone said on my job once, I never know my husband was so lazy. Through the whole time I'm home, He behaved like he went to work. He's in his office all day and he comes out and he doesn't help. And I never saw that in him. Of course you didn't. You just pass each other in the hallway. They get to find out things about their partners that they never knew. And for that 2 years, it annoyed them. And the survey is out to prove it. So many relationships broke up. Some, I must say, on the other hand, became stronger because they get to rebond. They get to they get to come together now. You don't have to run out to go to work anymore. You can sit and have a coffee or have some tea together. We can sit. But for most part, relationship broke up. So, being confident in who we are and whose we are versus yes, it changed a lot of relationship. Because I don't know who you are. Because my self-worth, which I mix with self-confidence to make them one, was about working and getting. So therefore, I didn't see you. Because I'm out providing. So you can pay for the Benz and the Jaguar, the plane. So when that part, and you can't go shopping anymore. It should change us. But sometimes it seems that it makes us cold. People no longer want to socialize because we're locked up for so long. But if you look at the positive side of it, it strengthens your self-worth. Because it should make you tap into your own emotion, tap into yourself to say, I am not going to work today, but I'm just as worthy to be my kid's mother, to be my partner's partner. But when we tie ourselves to things, we forget people. Reality hits, Queen. Reality hits. Because we were codependent on environmental stimuli. We were codependent on job. We're codependent on friends. Because we lost who we were, trying to please everybody. And here comes this thing that says, hey, you ain't got nobody now. She continues to say, self-confidence is linked to external things that can fluctuate. Isn't that what we're saying? So self-confidence can also fluctuate. But self-worth is constant. When we realize that we're not living our authentic self, and then we decide to change that and say, Lord, do that thing in me and work on it, it becomes constant. That self-confidence change, because you can lose this 70 million a year job. You can lose it. And then the self-confidence wane. Because I'm my job. I'm not me, I'm my job. And back again to people who say, I am just a. I always say this. I work as, I am not that. That's my profession. Who I am is, I am Jane, who work as. But I am not a social worker who's Jane. I am first Jane. You see? Self-worth, Jane. Self-confidence, social worker. We attach our identity to things. It can rise and fall based on mood, circumstances, comparisons, performance, approval, and the common misconception is that building self-confidence will give you feeling of intimate love, enoughness, and value. That simple does not work. You see what what you guys have been saying? Is tying up ourselves into the big house, and nothing is wrong with it. Nothing is wrong with it as long as it's balanced. The house is the roof over your head that God gave you the strength and the education to work to get, but it's not who you are. It provides a service, shelter, comfort, ownership, but it's not who I am. This is why the bank can come and take it if I can't pay for it. One self-worth does this. Both self-confidence and self-worth play a very important role in the journey of ultimate fulfillment in life. While it is important to continuously build and strengthen both, it is also so important to understand the difference between the two. So even though we need both to be fulfilled, oh God, even though we need both to be, yes, Paulette, self-confidence can diminish at a blink when situation arises and circumstances changes. Powerful. But when we have both, then I realize that losing my job does not make me less than a person. I just lost the job. You see how when they work together positively, instead of saying they're one, they're not one. But it's like, here's a good example, just pop in my mind. When we get married, it says now you are one. It doesn't mean I clone into my husband. No, it means that we should be one in our thoughts, in the way we love each other, in the goals that we're striving for as a married couple. But individually, I have my own social security number and my own DNA, and I can do things without him. But when I come together with him to do it, we work harmoniously. So there won't be any fighting saying you spent $1,000 when we owe 1,100 and now I have to fight to come up with the $1,000 to add to the one you left. We work together. We don't work apart. We strengthen each other. It's the same thing with self-confidence and self-worth. When they work together is when a healthy and a fulfilled life happens. But when what we do now, what society says is norm, is we put everything into self-confidence. And then self-worth is left behind. But when we can see ourselves as worthy, even when my car breaks down, even when I lose the job, I'm confident enough, and I believe that the God that I serve is going to provide another one. And it might not be the first one I get, might not be an executive. It might be the secretary or the coordinator, but the paycheck will come together now. Self-worth. I am worthy of working and attaining where I was. However, I need to pay my bills, and I'm not going to sit down and wait on an executive job when a coordinator job is available. And if I pick the coordinator job, it will lead me to the executive job. But sometimes we see people, and Tina Lee, welcome, 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 welcome. So happy to have you. So happy to have you here. We are in our book club, Worthy, and I hope you'll catch on. I bet you was in the bushes and you just came out. I hope, if you weren't, I hope you will catch on. So have you heard people say, I'm a teacher and I'm not going to work as a teacher's aide? When you accept who you are, when we accept who we are as worthy, we wait for the change to happen. We don't sit and do nothing. We take something until change comes. And if we take that position in the company, who knows, 2 months down the road, they're looking for an executive. And you're right there. You're right there. So you can transfer over now. But sometimes we sit and we're waiting for it to drop in our lap. When if we just put the faith out that I'm going to take this, and my creator who made me and see that I'm worthy of this, he's going to make the way. Thoughts? Agree, disagree? So let's go over this. We have established that self-worth is our foundation. Self-confidence is the house you build on top of it. See how it's coming together? See how it's coming together, Pauline, as you said? Flowing in status is not self-worth. Your house will only ever be as secure as the foundation that is built. So again, we're talking about breaking the cycle, acknowledging that we're worthy because God says so. And when we acknowledge that we're worthy, we get rid of the pain, we get rid of the hurt, we get rid of the cultural stuff that is said to us that is not aligning in us fulfilling our authentic self that we are made to be. And we start the work. And as we said before, on the journey, you're going to have slips. Thank you so much, Watch. Thank you so much. So guys, I'm trying to get to 25. 25 in the next half an hour. We're at 20 right now. Share, 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 share out for me, guys. So once we recognize, and I keep going out there because we have to recognize, we have to accept that we need to change this behavior, then we need to start the work. And it's not easy, but it can be done. Self-confidence can shatter when we face a painful failure, a setback, or rejection. When we have self-confidence without strong underlying self-worth, isn't that what we've been saying? We're less likely to take risk. Isn't that what I'm saying? We lost the job, and because we have not attached our identity to the job, we can go out and find a job that is available and work our way up. Because being at the right place at the right time makes the difference. So you take a job as a coordinator when you were a director, but the salary is good and the salary can help the bill at home, but you're in a company that is large, that here comes an executive position and you're right there and you can now transfer over. I'm not imploring or suggesting that it's easy. What I'm saying is building that authentic self will make you take risk. Risk takers do well in life. If you never fail, you never tried. If you never fail, you never try. Failure is not always negative. Because I fail at this, I'm going to study harder. I remember when I was taking my exam, my state exam, I know within myself that the probability of me passing on the first try was very high. But I told myself I'm going to pass. So what I did, I worked hard to pass. So when I failed, I wasn't disappointed. Because now, guess what? I know what it feels like to be in that test environment. I got an exposure to the material. So the second try, I'll be more familiar. So the fact that I didn't pass was a disappointment to me. I was like, yes, at least I have an idea now. I now will start from the easiest question to the hardest instead of starting from the hardest to the easiest, because sometimes I have noticed when I take certain tests, you'll find question 2 down at question 25. The answer for question 2 at 25. And you can go back and say, hold on, that's what they meant when they asked question 2? Yes, Paulette, nothing try, nothing done. You're only a failure when you stop trying. As long as there's breath in your nostril, you have the opportunity to try. We don't want the pain associated with losing our self-confidence and feeling like we have nothing left. Strong self-confidence with strong self-worth always keep us stuck. Strong self-confidence without strong self-worth often keep us stuck and afraid to take chances. Afraid of rejection, afraid of potential failure. Almost everything around us in life, every product, every consumer message, every goal we're told to strive for, all simply built with self-confidence alone. thoughts, every rejection and and being afraid of failure will not let us thrive. Thoughts. When we have strong self-worth, it gives us a resilience core. And isn't that we were born with? That's why they say kids are kids between the ages of 2, well, let's say 1 to 14, 15, very resilient. They bounce back, even 17. But those that have become influenced by certain things, you can't do this and you can't do that, take a longer time to bounce back. But kids that are fearless, that's why it's also said to teach a child to drive when they're 16. Because once you go over, then the fear of the road takes over. But when they're younger, they're fearless. Isn't that true? Don't you see that in your kids every day? You wonder, this boy riding this bike like that. Don't worry, mommy, I'm fine. Don't worry, dad, I'm fine. I'm going to read it again. When we have strong self-worth, it gives us a resilient core that is so much more difficult to diminish. Someone said last week, throughout their life, they have fought to keep their self-worth intact. And that's what propels them to accept where they are in life. I thought that was so powerful. It stayed with me. What might seem counterintuitive at first is that when we have strong self-worth and believe we are enough exactly as we are, we don't become complacent. We don't sit back and say, oh, well, I lost the job and there's no job out there. But we get up and what our hands find to do, we do it. And we do it as if to say we're working in the job we want. We do it without complaining. We do it without whining. One of the things I hated working and experience, people come to work and the simplest little thing, I can't stand this place. I'm not getting enough money to do what I'm doing. And we talked about it last week. You chose it. You stayed there for 30 years. You did not go back to school and do something. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Claudette. Watch Queen is saying, Claudette, I connected to your channel. Or Claudette, I didn't get to look at you yet because I'm using my phone because I can't do vertical on my PC. So I didn't get to look at you yet, but I'll go over to your channel. Just drop, Paulette, drop something in my comment so that I can connect with you, okay? Thanks for connecting, Watch Queen. With strong self-worth as our foundation, we become unwavering, resilient, and that is how we become unstoppable. unstoppable and become who we are born to be. We're not saying to be rude and coy and dismissive. Self-worth, along with self-confidence, grounds us, and it should humble us. And I'm still praying. I'm still praying. Because this is for me too. I'm not here preaching. This is for me too. I'm not here teaching. I'm here to learn too. Because this is the journey I'm on. Being the best of who God wants me to be so that He can be seen through me. Because in gaining all of this self-worth and self-confidence, if we don't see a higher force in our life, whether you go to the tree, the rock, I go to Jesus, whatever you choose, if we don't ask that force to guide us, we become cocky. But that's not what it's about. It's about embracing it and being humble in it. She says, we've been told that we need to achieve in order to be worthy of love. It's a lie that is often reinforced by well-intentioned friends, family, and colleagues who only ask us what we're doing, what we're up to, instead of how have we been? How are you really? And again, isn't this true? Isn't this true? We see this so much. People say, how you doing? And by the time you stop to tell them, okay, have a good day. So don't ask me how I'm doing if you're not willing to listen. Likewise, I must not always have mourning. And I have to be conscious of that because I have so much pain in my life for the last 3 years. So much. Losing my son, my only son. Recently losing my dad. My son put me in such a dark place. And then my father. That I have to be cognizant of the fact that when people ask me how I'm doing, I don't start telling them, oh, I'm hurting so bad. I have to constantly remind myself to change that narrative, change that conversation. How are you doing? What I say now is, God is good. To stop myself from going on that road, I now say, God is good. And the person will say to me, if they care, hang in there. I know it can't be easy. Yes, Paulette, no one has time to listen anymore. No one. No one has time to listen. Everybody is, someone said something to me that really, really, really crushed my spirit. Somebody very close to me. I was saying something, and the person said to me, I decided that I'm not going to take on that anymore. I have no time to listen to anybody. I'm trying to deal with my own stuff. And I'm like, really? Really? Can you separate that feeling to listen to this? I don't want to deal with it anymore. And I said, that's not a good thing to practice if it's everybody you're saying that to. If you're saying that to me, today is not a good day for you. I get it. But if it's something you're saying to everybody, that's not good. Well, I don't want to deal with nobody anymore. We have nothing to offer, it seems, anymore, but superficiality. Superficiality. And again, I'm going to come back to YouTube. Because leave no one behind, it doesn't mean helping you to get your numbers alone. It means encouraging you. It means giving me constructive criticism with respect. Isn't that what we do here? And that's why it seems that everybody is the same, but we're not. Because we have something in common don't mean we're the same. Because we're all on YouTube don't mean that we're the same. We are not. And I am unapologetically about that. Say that unapologetically. Because we're on YouTube doesn't mean that we're the same. Because if you're going down a certain avenue on your channel, I have the right to decide that I don't want that in my life. So isn't that what we do? Watch Queen, you didn't know me before I came here, did you? Jay Brown, RNC, all the others that are watching. You all didn't know me before I came here. But there has to be something that I do that aligns with who you are. And you said, yes, I can spend some time with her. There has to be something about your channel that when I come on it, I say, yes, this aligns with what I believe in. This aligns with my standard. So because we're all on YouTube doesn't mean we're the same. It just means we have something in common. YouTube. YouTube. Isn't it the same thing? My self-worth doesn't lie in the numbers on YouTube. Oh, hey, guys, keep the numbers coming. I need them. Don't you walk away and say, oh, no, I'm not going to give her any number. I'm not going to. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm simply saying is I came on as who I am. I came on. You didn't know me. You don't know what I stand for. You don't know my pain and my journey and my heartaches. So then my channel is going to depict that. You don't know the things that I love to do. So my channel is going to depict that. It's my brand. I am my brand, so I'm bringing my brand to you. Self-worth, self-confidence. I came on as who I am. Self-confidence is I am going to get to a place where I am, yes, I am now a certified content provider. But that's not who I am. It's just a goal I want to attain because my self-worth is balancing my self-confidence. And that's what my channel is going to show. And that's what our channels are going to show. I don't have to tear you down to get numbers. I don't have to go in the gutter to get numbers. Numbers are coming and I appreciate them. I appreciate every last one of you that take the time to spend with me when I come on. I appreciate every last one of you that in your spare time, when I pop up on your phone, you go, what? She got something coming up again? And you watch it. So not only is self-worth, as I said, it's never about us. True self-worth is never about us. Self-confidence is. Self-confidence says I'm going to tear you down so I can get the numbers because the numbers are what I'm about. I'm not about building a cyber relationship with you. So if I happen to be in the store and I meet you, I can honestly look in your eye and say, nice to meet you. The journey of unlearning all of the lies or conditioned belief system, believes, and learning how to hear our own knowing, trust ourselves, believe we are truly worthy, exactly as we are, of the greatness and the most important journey we'll take ever if we choose to in this lifetime acknowledging that with all my scars and with all my bruises from the battles I've fought called life. Her name is Jamie. I'm going to put it back up in my community. Jamie Kern Lima. I tell you, Paulette, you're going to enjoy this book. Oh, Watch Queen. Did you get notice yet? If it's time for you to collect yours? You're going to enjoy this book, Paulette. Let me tell you something. You know, I call this book my new friend. You know that friend that is genuine, that will just sit and tell you, I don't like how you this and I don't like how you did that, but I'm here for you. I'm here for you. We're gonna walk this thing called friendship together. That's what this book did to me. Everything that I have seen in myself that I need to work on, that I've been praying with to God earnestly about in the last year, she talks about it. Everything. If you're someone who perhaps is a lifelong student, see, I just said it, it's a journey, like I am, you will love personal growth and development. Here is something that might be a huge haha moment for you. Okay, perhaps you have read countless books. Perhaps you have attended events where you identified limited beliefs that have been holding you back in life. For example, am I attractive enough? Am I not funny? Am I not interesting enough to attract a potential partner? I don't have enough money. I don't have the right to education. I'm too young or too old. I'll never become wealthy. I'm the imposter. My business won't succeed. Then perhaps you practice the tools and methods to place those limited beliefs on yourself. You know what the time? 9:41. I know it's good. I have 9 minutes to go. Thank you. I never make my goal tonight, but I'll try again. I'm happy to have you all here. Happy. I'm going to tie this up now because I have 9 minutes to go. Well, here's the thing. Almost all of us have these common beliefs. Because they're tied in our self-confidence and our external circumstances. Building confidence and learning to believe the things you hope and dream of are actually possible in your life is important. But there's a big problem and missed opportunity in how most people life coach, thought leaders, even many of the most sought after experts approach overcoming these things that we believe from what we have been taught. They almost always focus they almost always so focus solely on how to overcome limited belief. Okay. Oh, Pauline, Paulette, you're from New York. Thank you. I'm coming down now. They almost always focusing on limited belief, which is led to better self-confidence. People are left with the impression that if they build their skill set and grow their confidence enough, that they'll be completely missed. If you only begin to confidently believe those things are possible for you, you don't innately believe you are worthy of them. You likely won't keep them if you get them. Even more important, you'll never feel fulfilled in life if you don't also overcome limited belief around self-worth. So what is she saying? Once we have acknowledged that the things that we've been taught through culture, through abuse, through systematic endeavors, once we stop placing our value on things and start balancing life, I am Jamie. I work as a cook. I am not a cook who is Jamie. Self-worth. I lose my job, but with God in the vessel, I'm going to get another one. And if I don't get the one I want, I'm going to place myself in a company that has a ladder of growth, and He will make the way for me. Self-confidence. I sit at home and I wait at the perfect job while my bills are doubling up, and I could be out there making $10. In building our self-worth, we must bring it together with our self-confidence to be truly fulfilled. Total fulfillment, total joy comes from God and not the hopeful husband or the hopeful boyfriend or the child we are hoping for. We must be whole to attract these things. A broken person looking for love will attract a broken person. Why do we hear so much people? Why do we hear so much people talk about okay, another thought just came to me. One of the things, thank you, Watch. One of the things that I do a lot, I look at situation and things a lot and analyze them. Sometimes I have to talk myself out of it. But you know, I admire drug addicts and alcoholics. And you go, what? Yes, I do. There's a lesson there that I've always looked at. Do you know that and I've worked with them a lot, so I see their behavior. Do you know that if an alcoholic gets a bottle of beer and there are 10 alcoholics around him, guess what he does? Drop it in the chat. Guess what he does? I got 3 minutes. Guess what he does, guy? He shares it. And if you think I'm lying, the next time you pass a group of alcoholics, stay a distance and give them something. If you think I'm lying, give them a bottle of water, give them a soda. They pass it along, they take a sip, and they pass it along to everybody that is around them. If they take it and put it away, it means that somebody else just gave them something and they shared it, so they're waiting until they need this. I've had the opportunity to work very closely with the homeless, and I'm about to start again as soon as the weather change. I give out blankets every year. I used to give out food, but I had to stop because I got a citation from the police for being a public nuisance. Because what they tell me is the containers that I use, they're seeing them all over the street, and it's creating a problem. So I had to stop. So I turned. Arizona is a very, very warm state. Right now we're so warm. Last year this time we were heading down into the 80s. Now we're still in the hundreds. So when it gets cold here, it's a different type of cold. It's not like New York. It's not that dangerous. It's not like Boston. It's not like. But because we have been so hot all year, we get cold. So I decide to give blankets. And I tell you, one day, I go by the bus stops, I go by Walmart, I go by the Circle K's and the Burger Kings, because that's where they hang out. By the bus stop, they live in the bus stop. And I got to this particular bus stop, and there was 5 people there, and I only had 3 blankets left. I started with 50, and I only had 3 left. And I'm there puzzled. I can't give 3 and don't give 2. My heart is going to break on the way home. And can you believe, when I got to the last 2, hi, Travel, welcome, welcome, welcome. When I got to the last 2 blankets, you know what one of the recipients said to me? I know him. I can share my blanket. I go, what? He says, yeah, I know him. We hang out here all the time. As a matter of fact, sharing it will keep us warmer. And the woman took the blanket to share. Then the other one behind her says, I'll share mine too. The one behind says, I'll share mine too. And when I left there, I learned such a lesson. Because I've been in situations where people can, I don't have any more to give. How come you don't have a blanket? You look like you can afford one. Have you heard those things? You look like you can afford it. They look out for each other genuinely. Their authentic self-worth shines. They don't have a house to run competition with the others. So their authentic self-worth, in as much as the situation they're in sometimes is caused by their behavior, not all the time, sometimes it's trauma, their authentic self shows. They're so unselfish. And I always admired that population. I've worked with them for years. I've always admired it, especially the ones you meet on the street. Yes, Paulette. They're all in it together. What happened? My time ran and I didn't know. They're all in it together, so they can appreciate each other. How much of us can say that about ourselves? They can appreciate each other. They're not looking to gain anything more than the companionship and the friendship. There's nothing superficial about what they're doing. There are so many lessons right in front of us that if the pain and all this didn't take us, because it's until I really start to look at life and how wonderful God is to me that I'm able to draw strength from that. And one of my mottos is, you do things because it's right, not because it feels good. You stand up and for things that is right, not because it feels good. Not because you're not going to get a trophy for standing up every time for what's right. But you do it because it's the right thing to do. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to try to put something in my community. I don't know if this will considered. I guess I'll just give her credit. There is something here that I would really, really like to put in my community. I have to be careful of copyright, but I guess I'll just cite her work and cite that this is, I'll figure out a way because I've done research paper that I had to, to submit in college, and I use other people's tools to do it, and I'm just gonna do a good legal citation on this, but I really, really, really want to try and put this out on my community. And if you guys see it, I'm not gonna show it to you because I think this is so. If you guys see it, I would like you to participate in a reactionary comment for me. I'm going to try my best tomorrow to see how can I get this on my community page and cite so I don't get any citation on it, because I'm telling you, this is powerful. So guys, I look forward to next week. Thanks again for coming this week, like last week. Thanks for your participation. This was fun. I learned a lot from your comments. And take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, because without an authentic person, we're just existing. We're just existing without that authentic person coming through. Support each other. Remember, when you go to subscribe, and they're content providers here, but I know they're non-content providers that are in the garden listening, so this is for you. When you go to support my channel or any other person's channel, remember, do not just click subscribe. Watch. As a matter of fact, I love the reverse. Watch a video. If the video is about cooking potatoes, write something on cooking potatoes. I like the way you did that potato. YouTube wants us to know that you're authentically watching. Remember, we're talking about authentic, being authentic. So write short something about the potato. Then you like, then you subscribe. If you only click on subscribe and don't do the process, we don't get the credit. Okay, guys? So have a good night. Thanks for coming. It was a pleasure. Next week, again, the book is Worthy by Jamie Kernlin. I'm going to put it on my community again also. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bring a friend. Tell a friend. If there's something about this book club that you have enjoyed for these last couple of weeks, tell a friend. Bring a friend. Share it on your community board for me. Share it out there for me. Let's get together and see if we can assist someone by lending a word from Worthy. God bless you all. Be well. For those of you who are content providers, see you on YouTube streets. See you on YouTube streets. Thanks for coming. For those of you who are in the garden that have not come out to the chat, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming. When you're leaving, tap, 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 tap for me, guys. Tap, tap, tap for me. Now, I did a poll. Oh, Jesus, I didn't see it. I did a poll. 52% said they did a thumbs up. Out, I had 36 people. 52 said they give a thumbs up. 47 said they don't. I don't know what that's about. But if you're here, I don't understand. If you're here, I don't understand why you didn't do a thumbs up. But I hope you'll do it next time because 47% is high. 47% is high. 47 did not tap. I don't know what that's about, but let's hope for the next time when you come that you will tap for me. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. See you soon.